Hi and welcome to your slow flow yoga practice. If you have a blanket somewhere nearby, grab that, but apart from that, you don't need anything else. And if you don't have a blanket, a towel could do the same job. It's just something to give your knees a bit of padding, just so that we make things a bit more comfortable, a bit more enjoyable. So let's begin in an extended child's pose. So you can use your blanket or your towel across the middle of your mat to give your knees a bit more support and padding. Take your knees about as wide as your mat, your big toes come together to touch, and then sit your hips back onto your heels as far as you can. And have a little shuffle and walk your hands forwards. With your hands about as wide as the mat. Stretch them as far away from you as you can while still sitting your bum back towards your heels. And then let your forehead rest down to the ground. And start to deepen your breathing, slowly breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And lift your head slightly and walk your hands off the left edge of your mat like this. So stretch all the way over to the left. And then let your head dangle between your arms. It might drop to the ground, it might be floating, either is fine. Again, breathe deeply in and slowly out. And then lift your head, walk your hands back through the centre of the mat and take them off the other edge, over to the right. Relax your head between your arms, breathe deeply. Then lift your head, bring your hands back to the centre of the mat and lift up to your hands and knees. And bring your knees under your hips now so that they're hip distance apart with a little space between them. Walk your hands in so that they're under your shoulders, spreading your fingers out nice and wide. And take a breath in as you lift your head, looking forwards, arching your spine. And exhale as you round your back, relaxing your head down. Breathing in slowly, lifting the head slowly. And breathing out, rounding your back, push through your hands. Take a few more cycles of breath like this, moving through cat pose and cow pose. Flexing and extending the spine. Just starting to wake up your body to notice where you might be feeling some tightness, some tension. And then coming back to tabletop position with a neutral spine. Bring your big toes together so they're touching. Take the knees wide, similar to what we've just done for child's pose. Then turn your chest to the right and reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Breathing in. As you exhale, breathing out, coming down into thread the needle, reaching your right arm along the ground, dropping your head and your shoulder to the mat. Pause here and breathe. Think about trying to open your chest up towards the left. Try reaching your left hand up towards the ceiling and then bring it round to rest against your lower back. Lift your left shoulder towards the ceiling, one more breath. Then take your left hand back onto the mat to support you as you lift up and take your right hand back to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, coming back to hands on the mat, hands shoulder width apart. Then turning to the left, left arm lifts, we open across the chest, breathing in. Breathing out, we come down into thread the needle, reach that arm through, drop your head and your shoulder to the ground. Breathing into this shape. Turning your chest to look to the right. And then again, you could try, if you want to, lifting up your right arm and wrapping your hand round your lower back. Lifting your right shoulder towards the ceiling. Taking one more breath here. Then reach your right hand up to the ceiling and bring it back down to the mat to support you as you lift up and take your left arm to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Good, so hands are back under the shoulders. We bring the knees back under the hips. We'll tuck under the toes, make sure the fingers are spreading out nice and wide. And try lifting your hips into downward facing dog. Relax your head between your arms. Lift your hips high, really stretch out your back. And then try pedaling into your feet. So bending one knee and then the other, dropping the heels down. Keep your breath steady, flowing in and out. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. As you do this, you can move the blanket aside. So walk your hands in, bend your knees to give yourself space for this. And actually bend your knees quite generously so that your tummy is kind of resting on your thighs like this. Let your arms and your head dangle down heavily. Gently shake your head left to right as if you're saying no. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. Gently nod your head as if you're saying yes. Breathing in through the nose. Sighing out. Slowly now we're going to lift all the way up. Rolling up the spine. Coming up to stand. Lift your head and roll your shoulders back. Do 3 of these big circles of your shoulders. And then let your arms relax. Bring your hands to your hips. Take your right arm up overhead. Take a breath in as you reach up through your right fingertips. And then as you exhale, reach up and over to the left, taking a side stretch. Breathing in and out. Inhale, reach back up, and then exhale, bring that hand down to the hip. Take the left arm up, inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, reaching up and over to the right, side stretch. Take a full breath here. Inhale, reaching up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come to the hips. With the hands on the hips, take a breath in. As you exhale, start to hinge forwards from your hips, little bend in the knees, sinking down, and then let your arms drop. Then looking forwards, start to walk your hands all the way out to the top of your mat, coming into this straight plank position, and then lower your knees to the mat, bend your elbows and lower your chest and your tummy down. So we're coming all the way to lay on our fronts. Point your toes, inhale, cobra, lift and open your chest. Exhale to release it down. And take your hands a little wider off the edges of the mat. Inhale again and lift into cobra. Exhale, coming down. Last one, take the hands a little further forwards now, breathing in and breathing out. Then we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So bring your forearms onto the mat in front of you with your elbows shoulder width apart, and elbows are kind of stacked underneath your shoulders. So if sometimes you can end up in this kind of position here where it just doesn't quite feel right, if that seems like where you might be, then try sliding your forearms a little further forwards and see if that helps you to lift up and feel a bit more supported. Then keep pointing the toes, so legs are still switched on. The feet are pressing down into the ground and the pelvic bones kind of pressing down into the ground too. Shoulder blades are drawing back. We lift through the chest and breathe. In this lifted position, turn your head to the left. Imagine drawing a line with your nose all the way over past your left shoulder. Pause and breathe, keep pressing through the forearms as well. And then come back through center and take your head across to the right. Pause and breathe. And then bring it back to center again. Now if your back feels like it's had enough here, you're going to come down and rest by taking the elbows out and resting your head down. If your back is feeling good and you want to go into a slightly higher position, you could take your hands a little wider, press through your palms and try lifting into seal pose. Breathing in, breathing out. And then lower the elbows, coming all the way down. Bring your hands back under your shoulders, lift up to the hands and the knees. Bring yourself back to tabletop, spread out your fingers, tuck under your toes and lift back into downward facing dog. Relax your head, gently shake your head left to right. Take a breath in, let it out through your mouth. One more like that, breathing in, sighing out. And then slowly lower down to your knees. Swing your feet round to one side and stretch your legs out in front of you. Then bend your right knee and open that knee out to the side so the sole of your right foot is against your left inner thigh. Sit tall and reach up through your arms. Flex this left foot at the front so the toes are lifted and press your bent knee down towards the ground. Take a breath in. As you exhale, reach forwards but not down. So just reach forwards as far as you can. Pause here. Keep those left toes lifting, the right bent knee pressing down. Another breath in. And then as you exhale, just let your hands drop to wherever they land, on your foot or on your leg, shoulders dropping down away from the ears. So rather than reaching, grabbing and pulling with the hands, we're actually going to let the shoulders and the arms relax here, and all of the work is coming from the legs. So left foot is flexing, the heel presses away, the toes draw back, and the bent knee is pushing down towards the ground. Breathing in and out. One more breath. Slowly lifting. Keep the legs in that same position. You're going to take this right hand and just rest it on the outer left thigh and swing the left hand round to the ground behind you. Lift up tall and turn your chest to the left. And then release, come back to center. Bring the right knee in and release that leg and we'll go the other way. So bend the left knee, open it out, bring the sole of the foot against the inner thigh. Then reach up, flex the right foot and press down with the left knee. Inhale. Exhale, reaching forwards but not down. Pause at this halfway point. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale. Exhale, let your arms and shoulders relax. Hands just rest onto your leg or your foot. Let your head go. And keep the effort coming from the legs. So again, the front foot is flexed. The bent knee is pushing down. Slowly lift, come back up. Take your left hand across to the outer edge of your thigh. Turn your chest to the right and bring your right fingertips to the ground behind you. Twisting to the right. And then coming back to center. Bring this knee back in. We're going to come down onto our backs, so hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then drop your feet to the ground and get comfy for our resting practice, shavasana, our stillness practice. So if you have your blanket, you could use it now to cover over your body to get warm and comfortable. Resting with your feet about as wide as the mat, your arms down by your sides and palms facing up. Make any little adjustments you need to get yourself as comfy as possible. And then close your eyes, relax your forehead, release your jaw, and let your body rest. Now I'm going to leave you there to continue resting. Stay for at least another 5 or 6 deep, slow breaths, and then take it slowly as you start waking your body up and moving on with your day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in another video soon.